Hello everybody, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to just a super chatty little goal check-in. I wanted to do specifically a financial goal check-in and kind of talk about how they're going and some of the things I want to change, because you guys know I say this all the time, but goals should change just like we change, just as the seasons change. You can start the year off with a financial goal and then decide you want to go a completely different route. That's totally okay. And there's so many awesome ways to set goals, which I love. And I actually came across a TikTok the other day that instead of doing just a list of goals for the year, they did themes for every month, which I really, really loved, like themes financially for every month. And I really loved that. Like, let's say January was all about, you know, doing a low spend month and learning to curb your impulse spending. And then February was all about saving and investing and all that stuff. And I loved putting a theme on every month. And it kind of got me thinking, maybe we should check in on our financial goals and see how we're feeling about them. Because I think I need to do some changing, move some things around, and that's fine. So this is like, we're in a coffee shop. I mean, I'm sitting on the floor right now, but we're in a coffee shop, we're grabbing coffee, we're just kind of catching up, hanging out, and I'm honestly really excited about it. I've got my iPad here with my Notion pulled up, which I love my iPad for videos like this because it's just so quick and easy, and Notion is amazing because you can just pull it up anywhere. I seriously love it so much. So I'm just gonna open up my 2023 financial goals, and we can kind of go through what we set originally at the beginning of the year and talk about the changes that we're making. I had 4 big goals for the year. So I had 150K in net business revenue, 10K in my TFSA, get a raise or a promotion or both, and then incorporate the business. Now, already this year we've done one of those, we've incorporated the business, and the other ones we're kind of working towards. But what I realized the other day when I was kind of doing a little like mental check-in on my walk was, I'm the kind of person that puts all of my eggs in one basket, and that can be a good thing, but can also be a not great thing. And I think when it comes to finances, it's not necessarily the best course of action. Well, it really depends, right? Let's say you're saving to buy a house. I think it's good to put all of your eggs in one basket and just like work towards that one big goal. But I feel like Matt and I are kind of in this stage in our life where I guess the next big financial thing will be a wedding, but we have a house and there's nothing that's like of crazy importance with like a flashing impending due date, if that makes sense, right? Like, we aren't really saving up for a huge purchase right now. We, you know, aren't saving up for a down payment. We're not actively paying off really any debt. And so I figured that this was kind of the time in my life to maybe switch up my goals every few months and put my eggs in different baskets. So hopefully that makes sense. I'll kind of get into it when I start talking about my new financial goals and how I'm going to achieve them. I have this little table on my Notion like monthly reset page, which is where I keep track of like my subscriber count and then also my yearly financial goals tracker. And we're gonna kind of see how we're doing so far. Okay, so I originally said I wanted to invest $6,500 in my TFSA this year, and then I went to 10K. And now I'm still at 10K, but the more manageable goal for me is definitely 5K. I'll just put on the screen my little table here. So far, as of the date of filming this, which is April 15th, I have saved $4,505 in my TFSA, which I'm very, very, very proud of that. In terms of RRSP contributions, I have $2,000, and then you guys know we're not really actively paying off any debt, but we are putting some money onto our home loan. And this is the thing when you share your finances online, is that everyone thinks that they have, you guys do have an inside look at our finances, but there are decisions that we're gonna make in our best interest that you guys might not think are the biggest priority, but to us they are. And so one of those for us is putting extra money on our home loan, because our interest rate is so low and so much money is actually going towards the mortgage. We feel like it's totally okay to put extra money onto the house, especially since we don't know what interest rates are going to be like in a few years. And hopefully by the time we go to renegotiate, we are potentially looking at buying our forever home. And so the more that's paid off on this house, the more money we have in our pocket, right? So we have been kind of doing that. So I know not everybody's gonna understand it, and at the end of the day, that's okay, because it is a goal for Matt and I, and there's just some things and some reasons that we keep private. And I do love showing my finances online, but of course there are, you know, boundaries, and decisions that are made that you guys might not get, and that's totally okay as long as they're respected. So I love looking at this. I love tables. I'm a very visual person, and honestly, I'm really, really proud of myself so far. But I do think I want to switch it up and kind of go towards a model of almost every quarter working towards a different goal. Like I said, I'm very much someone who has the blinders on and I can only see one goal at a time. And I think it would be better if it was like, you know, Q1 we focused on investing, now Q2 we focus on something else, and then Q3 we go back to investing, and then Q4 we put money on the home loan, and kind of break it up into different quarters. I kind of want to try that method out. So at this point, I'm almost halfway towards my investing goal for the whole year. So I could either kind of keep the blinders on and just invest that full 10K, or switch goals for now and then go back to that towards the end of the year. It's kind of hard to tell. So anyways, that's just kind of a little bit of an overview on my financial goals that are like tangible in terms of like numbers. Obviously the raise, the promotion, that stuff is a little bit of a work in progress. I did get some pretty disappointing news in terms of like just the pay scale and the way that works. Apparently I am already at the top of my pay scale at 25 years old, which kind of makes me sad, I'm not gonna lie. So I definitely have to think about my next steps and whatnot, but I did have the courage to, you know, have a meeting and present why I thought I deserved a raise. I'm really good at like writing down my accomplishments at work and keeping tabs on that with a tracker. So yeah, I definitely have to do some thinking about my next step there, but that is definitely a work in progress. But that's not really like a number oriented goal, right? It's more of like a action based goal. Anyways, I've been doing some brainstorming the last few days, and I've kind of created some new financial goals, and I figured we could just get into them and just kind of chat. So I'm gonna pull those up super quick. I don't even remember where they are. Okay, so my first goal is 5K in my TFSA, in brackets 10K if I achieve other goals. So right now, if I just had 5K in my TFSA for the whole year, and then I work towards other goals, I would be more than content. I'd be really, really happy with myself. You guys know I had a really, I don't want to say late start. I think we're all on different paths, but I struggled with my money for so long, and I feel like I've done a really good job at turning it around and turning around my relationship with money. Last month I hit 5 figures in my investments, which to some, I know some people have 6 figures, but that was a huge goal to me. Just seeing that made me so proud of myself. And so honestly, at the end of the day, if we just get 5K in there for the year, I would be really, really happy. So that's why I kind of have it 10K in brackets. We'll reassess once we kind of check in on our other goals. Okay, so the next one, we've just adjusted the original goal, which is get a raise or a better paying job. I'm not afraid to say that, honestly. I know my worth, and unfortunately, I think it just really made me sad hearing that I was like at the top of my pay scale already, and I'm 25. So like if I were to stay in this job for 10, 15, 20 more years, I wouldn't be paid more, and I already didn't get a raise when I got this job. So definitely have some reflecting to do, and just seeing what the average pay for a job like I have is in the area. And yeah, but we'll get into that more in another video. It's not really necessarily like a financial goal that we need to talk about in detail. The next is to work on my impulsive spending. Now, I used to have the worst impulsive spending, and I say this all the time, but impulse spending and having, you know, control over your money is not something anyone is 100% perfect at. We've all made impulsive purchases, and I'm the kind of person that makes them, especially when my emotions are kind of in the gutter. So if I'm sad or if I'm stressed, I find I shop a lot more than if I'm content. I'm a total believer in ebbs and flows of life, good months, bad months, neutral months. And one thing I've just noticed a lot of lately is, especially with social media, I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate, it's just I see a product and I think that I need it, and I just don't always need it. So I'm definitely in a season of being a little bit wild with my money, but not even wild in the sense of like, I'm not going out and buying designer things. I love thrifting. I love budget friendly things, but I'm still just buying more and consuming more than I need to. So I want to work on that again. And I have a list of questions that I ask myself before I make a purchase impulsively, and I'll share them with you guys. I actually found it through a TikTok. I actually found this through Pinterest. It's like a little like circle of questions to ask. But the first question is, have I thought about this for at least 2 weeks? So I try my hardest to not make any impulsive purchase. I'm not perfect. I obviously do make impulsive purchases sometimes, but typically if I find myself wanting something based on a TikTok someone posted, or just that I've realized I need it or I think I need it, I'll write it down on my notes app and leave it there for at least 2 weeks to marinate. And if I forget about it, obviously I didn't need it. And if I'm still thinking about it, then I can consider it. Does it solve a problem that I've genuinely noticed? The next is, do I already own something similar, right? How many pairs of jeans do we need? This is more for a bigger goal, but is buying it worth giving up progress towards my next financial goal? Where will it be in 5 years, right? Like, I think a lot of us have this tendency, especially with like fast fashion and stuff. We buy something, we wear it twice, and then we throw it away. And so I'm really working towards curating a solid capsule wardrobe. And yes, I can have fun, bright pieces, but I've really strayed away from that. Like, oh, I need this specific shirt for this specific photo. No, you don't. Literally no one does, because guess what happens? After I take that photo, it's probably gonna get donated and I've wasted my money. I need it in order to be productive or happy. I definitely prioritize my mental health and my well-being. So something, you know, I tend to gravitate towards is, you know, new running shoes and new activewear, and that stuff's okay. We don't need a lot of it, but if it's going to contribute to my happiness and my wellness, it's something I do obviously take into consideration. And what is the real reason that I am buying it? So those are the questions I try and ask myself before purchase. And like I said, I have that little kind of circle of questions saved on my phone, and I pull it up anytime I catch myself impulsive spending. So that's something I really want to work on, and is always going to be kind of a work in progress. The next kind of goes along with that, and it's to build a fun money, like treat yourself fund. I had this last year and then I just kind of stopped doing it, but I want to just have a couple $100s set aside just in case something comes up that I want. So like I said, right now I'm really curating a nice wardrobe. I really just don't have a lot of like nice clothing in terms of like blouses and date night shirts, and I really want to just curate a bit better of a wardrobe. I'm also looking at just upgrading some of the things in my life. So you guys know I'm a huge proponent of like drugstore hair care and beauty and stuff, but there are some things that I do like buying a bit higher end, like at Sephora. And so when those items run out, they tend to be a little pricier, and it would be just nice to have that kind of like fun money, treat yourself fund where I have a couple $100s in there. That way I'm not setting myself back. If I do have a line item in my budget for like fun money every month, I don't believe in restriction. I believe in just being very intuitive with your money. So, you know, if you want to, for example, the other day I went to Old Navy. I really wanted a like a short jumpsuit and some jean overalls, and I found some that I really liked, and you know, I waited for it to go on sale, and that's something I could use like my fun money fund for, or a new pair of running shoes, something that's not necessarily, I don't want to say set me back, because I do have the money in my budget to treat myself, but that's more for smaller items. So I really want to work on that and just have a couple $100 in there at all times. Next is prioritizing experiences and trips over materialistic items. I feel like I've gotten better about this over the last few years, but it's definitely something that I want to just keep working on. I mean, it's self-explanatory. Right, next is going back to an original goal of mine, which was $10,000 in short-term savings, and that is my next priority, and that is a goal I'm going to keep in my updated goals. And once I have that $10,000 saved, I can do with it what I want, whether I want to put it on the home loan, whether we want to use it to, I don't know, split up and put into my TFSA. I have no idea, but the goal is to just have $10,000 in my short-term savings. Once that's saved, we can decide kind of what to do with it. I'm thinking it'll probably go on the home loan, but that is my next shift of priority, is to, I mean, I'm still going to keep up my automatic contributions to my TFSA, which is about $100 a month, but I'm going to shift the majority of my extra income, like the money I would put into investments, into my short-term savings and into the home loan for the time being. Last one is to just keep up healthy financial conversations with my partner. Matt and I are pretty good about this. I wouldn't even say we do it like weekly or monthly. It's just whenever it comes up, we talk about it, but we definitely at least do it once a month. And then we do it at the end of the quarter as well, where we sit down and we just say like, how are you feeling about money right now? How's your money feeling? How are you feeling towards your goals? Are you achieving your goals? Do we need to change something? And we kind of just talk about it. Since we keep our finances separate, we just kind of sit and talk about our finances and how our money feels and how our savings are looking, and if there's anything the other person can do to help the other achieve their goals, right? Like, one thing I need is for Matt to like be like, Carter, do you really need that? No, you don't. And he's really good at kind of reeling me in. I really want to make sure that we're keeping that up, but I'm very proud of ourselves for that. We do a really good job of that. So yeah, but those are my updated financial goals and kind of how I'm going to be working to achieve them. I hope you guys enjoyed. You got to do a little goal check-in while you were watching this video, but I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye!